As we open our books, let us think of what we already know about describing and measuring matter. I'll open the page from our textbook. Now, look closely at this image. As you observe, what do you connect to the states of matter? This image is of a hot cup of tea. It should be a pretty familiar sight. The tea in the cup and the tea in the teapot, those are in the liquid state. The teapot and the actual cups, those are solids. And that steam coming up, that's a gas. I can say that the tea in the cup and the tea in the teapot are in the liquid state, while the teapot itself and the cups are in solid state, and the steam is in the gas state. You were easily able to observe all three states of matter from just a simple image. Think about the observable differences between the tea, the cup, and the steam. Take your time, write about what you know about how we describe different properties of matter and how we could measure some of them. Think carefully, and then record your answer in the empty space under the Can You Explain question. How is matter described and measured? Let's hear now from some of our colleagues' ideas.
We can describe matter by its color, shape, texture, or size, or by its state, solid, liquid, or gas.
We can measure matter by using its properties. We can use some tools such as balance, ruler, or thermometer.
Thank you for writing different ways to describe and measure matter. You may have written about different properties such as weight, shape, texture, size, or you might have written about how we could use tools such as a balance or a ruler or even a thermometer to measure matter. All of your answers are acceptable at this stage in the concept. You will get to know more as we continue with further Learn lessons. Now, let's shift our thinking. Imagine that you are taking a walk in your neighborhood. Have you ever thought about the different kinds of material people use to make the roofs on buildings and homes? Why are some materials chosen for a project and others are just not? Let's explore more about that through the investigative phenomenon in Ask Questions Like a Scientist. The Ask Question Like a Scientist activity is called A Roof for Every Climate. Let's go over to our textbook. As we look around, we could see a lot of different types of buildings. The roofs of these buildings are made of different materials. A roof is a very important part of a building or a home. What do you think about the kinds of materials that could be used for a roof? Maybe a roof could be made out of ceramic tiles, wood, metal, or even mud. But does the type of material play a role in how effective the roof is? Let's hear what our colleagues would say about that.
I went to Alex. Most of houses are made of clay bricks to endure moisture and salt from the sea.
I asked my father why some houses have wooden roofs. He said to insulate temperature.
This means that roofing materials must have certain properties. For example, if a school had a cloth roof and there was a heavy rainstorm, everyone might get wet. While that might seem silly, think about how the design and the materials chosen for buildings are carefully selected. I want you to look carefully at the three images of buildings in your book. The desert home, the cold weather home, and the thatched roof home. Pay special attention to the roofs and how they are shaped. What materials are they made out of? How are they different? How do we find different kinds of roofs in different climates? Take your time to write down your notes, and we will discuss them when we get back. Now, let's post the 3 images on the wall to think together of what we have found. In the first image, you may have noticed that the roof is in a desert area. The roofs are flat. By contrast, in the image in the colder weather, the roofs are tilted and have a sort of pyramid shape. Why does the roof have a different shape? What will a tilted roof help do in places with a lot of rain or snow? The design of the roof, whether it's tilted, it helps the water flow down. Now let's look at the roofing material in the desert. Yes, it's cement. Why would we not use wood, as in a colder weather area? Think about temperature and weather. In fact, cement provides protection from the intense sunlight and heat. In cold environments, the roof is made out of wood to insulate the houses and other buildings from the cold outside. Now, in tropical areas, you can see that the roofs are made from tree trunks, palm leaves. They are tightly packed to withstand the strong wind. Now that you have examined all 3 of these images, can you summarize the ideal properties of characteristics for roofs to have? Great. Roofing materials should have properties that are effective in certain environments. They must keep out the rain, insulate the cold, and not blow off easily in the strong wind. The buildings in your neighborhood might not have roofs that look like these images. What does that tell you about the design and property of roofs in your own community? Think about other questions you still have about how materials and properties can influence building design.
تقدر تتابع كل دروسك على تطبيق مدرستنا بلس. مدرستنا، المستقبل يبدأ الآن.